All right, our last project. Woohoo! All right. So we read a little bit about M.C. Escher and how he kind of did obscure things. He had windows in odd places, or things that looked like windows, but they were doors. People looked like they were going up, but could they be going down? Oh, is that a roof or is that the floor? I don't know. Well, we also read and saw in that magazine a young man, an artist, who created some interesting picture, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. So we're going to create some little bits of surrealism within our drawing. Okay, so let's look again at what surreal was. Surreal is something that's unable to physically occur. It's illogical, and an artist creates it as if it can really happen with as much detail as they can, and make the audience feel like it could and is happening. All right, your objective is to complete a perspective illusion drawing using two or more of the surreal techniques that Escher did. One of them was he used dislocation. He would put people or things in illogical places, like a door on a ceiling or on the side of a wall. He would sometimes levitate things. Things looked like they were hovering. So were they hovering? Or were they attached to something different and we just couldn't see that it was attached to the ceiling, but it looks like it's floating from another point of view? So those are kinds of some things, like you could float a recycling or a trash can bin, or you could float a door. As long as the door is drawn into the vanishing point or points, it'll still look like a door, okay? It just maybe isn't attached to a building. All right, so here are the steps to take. You first need to decide whether you think you might be more comfortable drawing in a one-point street scene or a two-point street scene with two vanishing points. Please, please, please look at this video on how to set up your paper. Okay? There are going to be requirements for how and where you place your horizon line. Because it's not going to be in the middle anymore. Oh my gosh. And where to put your vanishing point, singular if you're working in one point, and how to work with your vanishing points in 2 point and where to put them. All right, so look at that setup video so you know how to set your paper up. You do have two pieces of paper. So that means if you have a horrible mistake or something gets spilled on it, you have a backup. All right, things that you need to have. You must illustrate windows so that we have some way to see out of buildings, okay? How many is up to you. Whatever feels logical or real within the surreal setting. You need to illustrate doors because we need to see that we can get out or get in. All right, where you put those doors, totally up to you. Here's some decorations that need to be drawn on your image. One of the main goals is we want to feel like it's a full, complete picture where we don't have gobs of negative space doing absolutely nothing. So to do that, I'm giving you lots of different things to fill your space with. Two things that are required from me, such as a sidewalk. So if it's in red, it needs to be included in your drawing. So sidewalks, you could have one on one side of the street or both sides, totally up to you, okay? And these are short little videos that I have that show you how to draw one in 1 point as a reminder, and how to draw one in 2 points. And I tell you where to start in the video. All right. The remainder of this list, you will need to choose and complete at least 3 off this list. Okay, so you have your 2 red ones and then some 3 or more. I mean, you can just go whole hog and have fun and fill up your page and create this really interesting design, and you can use more. But I'm asking you for at least a baseline of 3 things on this list. Okay, let's talk about the last red thing, the pole method. This was introduced to you in the 1 point drawing that we did together. We made telephone poles. Okay, but they didn't have to be drawn all the way really, really tall, high in the sky. If you wanted a fence, the first pole you would kind of mark, and you would mark his height shorter for however high you want the fence to be, or a mailbox. Yes, you could use telephone poles. It could be a lamp post or even parking meters, but you need to use that pole method somewhere in your street scene. Okay, here are some options. Okay, you could add more city blocks. Okay, so how do I add buildings? Well, the 1-point and 2-point videos show you how to add buildings. If you need to know how to start a street, maybe your street takes a turn. All right, and you go the opposite direction that the street is currently going in. I'll show you how to do that in 1-point or in 2-point, depending on what your goal is. There's different kinds of signs that are laying flat up against a wall, and there are those that pop out from the wall. You see some of these hanging in downtown street areas where they might hang out over the top of the door in some way. And so this is definitely an option for you. You could do the one that pops off the building or flat signs, and it shows you how to do the lettering in perspective. Woohoo! All right. So if you want to write words on the sides of your buildings to identify storefronts, you need to know how to write the letters. Okay. Doorways. You could do an inset door on a building where it's kind of protruding inward, or not protruding, it's not coming out, but it's set inside the building a bit. Okay, I think we did one of those in one of the draw logs. I can't remember which one. Here's a unique one. This is always kind of fun. If you have one building on one side of the street and another building the exact same height on the other side of the street, and they have 2 stories, that means you have an upstairs area. All right, they're nice and tall. You can connect those 2 buildings with a pedway. Woohoo! All right. So I have a pedway instructions. Different surface decorations for the buildings. Maybe you want to try and brick the building. Maybe use a bigger cinder block for a building. Maybe you want to put siding along the edge or along the fronts of some buildings. Got them in 1 and 2. There's decorative things that sit on the corners of buildings. You see them on banks and things sort of in downtown areas. They're called architectural coins. It's a quick little something that you can add to the corner of a building to kind of dress it up. There's manhole covers. There's a silhouette of buildings off in the distance that sit on the horizon line behind all the other buildings, maybe peeking out from behind some. There's recycle or trash bins that you can draw. How to draw an open door in 2-point. So there's a variety of different things that can be done, okay, to kind of jazz up your picture and give it the feeling a little bit of some surrealism. Here's the artwork by that young artist that we saw in the MC Escher image. To draw this picture, the young man very easily could have turned his paper, and probably needed to turn his paper to draw the train facing this way. And then he could have turned his paper so it was upside down so he could draw the man on a ladder going here, drawing or painting on the wall, with more walls and doors and buildings, like he's on the rooftop of something. I'm sure he drew it from this point of view up here, drawing the man and a table. He may have turned the paper from here being bottom and here being top to be able to capture the people in the windows, and the windows feeling open themselves. So nothing says that a door has to be in a certain place. He even took some of the elements of Escher, like the lady hanging clothes in one of the pictures, to kind of inspire and throw a little bit of MC Escher into the picture. So turning your paper and drawing something, as long as it's going to your vanishing point or points, depending on you're working in 2-point or 1-point, you can have, all kinds of things happening in different places. Good luck.